Good morning, colleagues. Good morning once again, Dr. Miriam, and thank you for joining us in today's session. My name is Kosie Tuntuli. I'm from the Research Capacity Development Unit at the Postgraduate School. I'll be your moderator for today's session. Dr. Miriam, Dr. David is currently on another meeting, so probably he will join us at the later stage to this meeting because he's currently having another meeting. So that is why he's not with us at the moment, but he will surely join us later. So, colleagues, before I can introduce Dr. Miriam to you, I would like to acknowledge or make you aware that this workshop is recorded. As you can see, this is for the purpose of keeping all our records, as well as to share the recording of each workshop that we are having to the colleagues who have joined and those who were not able to join during the course of the workshop. So the recording of this workshop will be uploaded to your respective model communities, which include your supervisor community, as well as the PDRF model community. So if you are not enrolled in any of the mentioned communities, you are requested to send us an email on RCD inquiries or on supervision course, and we will be happy to enroll you. Alternatively, we now have an RCD management system, which is the platform that has been integrated to Ulink. So it's just available on your Ulink under services. The last option is RCD MS. So that is where you will be able to access all our previous workshop recording resources, as well as be able to book for any upcoming workshops that we're having. So allow me now to go through some few housekeeping rules. As I've mentioned that this workshop is recorded, so we will share the recording as well as the presentation of this workshop to your respective model communities. Um, Please make sure that your mic is muted. I will enable all your mics shortly. Please do make sure that there is no background noise that is coming from your side that can now interrupt the proceeding of this session. So I will enable all your mics. If you do have any question, you can just raise a hand or alternatively type under the chat, and then I'll notify Dr. Miriam that someone has a question. Dr. Miriam, if I may ask, would you prefer to take questions at the end of the workshop or during your presentation?
I would prefer at the end.
Okay. Thank you for that. Colleagues, you can keep your questions, but in the meantime, if you have any pending questions during the proceeding of the workshop, you can type under the chat or note them down. And then at the end of the presentation, and then Dr. Miriam will take your questions. So in that moment, you will now have to enable your mic if you have any questions and ask, or alternatively, you can just type under the chat. I will also be sharing a feedback evaluation under the chat towards the end of the workshop, just not to interrupt the proceeding of the workshop. We kindly request you colleagues to take your 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The feedback, it's just 3 minutes long. This feedback help us in terms of improving our service delivery, as well as to make sure that we provide the right service to you colleagues at large. So now allow me to read Dr. Miriam's bio. Dr. Miriam has over 13 years of working experience, of which 6 years have been lecturing and researching at the university level, and 7 years as a skill and self-empowerment facilitator. Dr. Miriam has demonstrated high leadership skills in several organizations. A postdoctoral fellow at the Tugizmana Lab, sorry for mispronouncing that, Department of Biochemistry, University of Johannesburg. She is currently a member of the organization for women in science for the developing world, that is OWSD. Dr. Miriam is the founder of a young organization, Vibrant Analytics Research, where she and her co-founders facilitate webinars on scientific research and provide consultation for upcoming researchers. Dr. Miriam is keen on sharing scientific knowledge among upcoming scientists, and she is open to collaboration. Let's warmly welcome our facilitator colleagues, Dr. Miriam. Dr. Miriam, once again, thank you for honoring our invite and taking your time in facilitating today's workshop. We look forward to a productive and insightful session. I now hand over to you, Dr. Miriam. You can proceed with the session. Thank you so much, colleagues.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. Let me try to share my screen. Please let me know if my screen is visible.
Not yet.
Hello?
Not yet. We currently don't see your screen.
I have actually shared.
Colleagues, you probably might be my network. Colleagues, if you can see Dr. Miriam's screen, please indicate.
Can you see my screen?
No, we can't see.
No, we can't see, Doc. We can't see anything.
No,
from
we're
the
not
side.
seeing anything.
Okay, let me see entire screen. Share screen. Share. No. Is it visible now?
Not yet.
No, doctor.
Oh.
Dr. Miriam, hi.
Yes, please.
Would you maybe like to just pop Mr. Nkosi an email with your presentation? So if you're unable to share on your side, at least he'll be able to share from his computer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, let me share with, let me share through the email. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
problem. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, colleagues, sorry about that technical issues Dr. Miriam is experiencing at the moment. However, she will join us shortly and she will start sharing her presentation. I have requested her to send a presentation to my email address so that I can share on my side. So we apologize for that inconvenience. Just give us about 2 minutes as soon as I receive the presentation for Dr. Miriam, and then we will proceed with the session. Thank you.
Hello?
Hi, Dr. Miriam.
Sorry about that. Did you get the email?
Not yet. I haven't received an email yet.
I
Probably now you can, because you were able to share earlier, you can just try. Let me make you a presenter once again, and you can try to share now.
Yes, we can see now.
Yes, now we can see your screen, Doc.
Is it fine now?
Yes, we seeing your screen now, and
Right.
we can see your presentation.
All right. Thank you so much. Apologies. I think it was the network. Yeah. All right. Good morning once again. This is an introduction to writing a systematic review literature. As earlier introduced, I'm Dr. Miriam Oyedeji Amusa. I'll be guided by the following outlines. I would like to start by posing a question, which is, what are the types of reviews you know about, or what type of reviews do you write? Moderator, I think maybe you can permit anyone to speak. What type of reviews do you know? Of course, there are lots of reviews.
Yes, Doc, I've enabled all the participants' mics. So colleagues, if you want to make any contribution, you can just raise a hand. I see Dr. Tadema, AJ, you can go ahead.
Yes, please. What type of reviews do you know, or what type of review do you write? Hello?
Colleagues, you can go ahead, Dr. Tadema. Okay, Doc, in the meantime, let me go through some chats. I see Dr. Uche says a bibliometric review.
That is good.
And Dr. Nakiranda says scoping review.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, now we know that we are all aware of review literature, and we know that there are different types of reviews. So I have
Dr. Victoria, Dr. Victoria, your hand is up. You can go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Nkosi. The type of review that I know so far is critical review.
All right, thank you. I have classified the types of reviews into 4. Please let me know if my screen is still visible, please.
Yes, it's still visible.
I have classified into academic reviews, scientific and research reviews, industrial and business reviews, then some other specialized reviews. But for the purpose of this workshop, we'll only be talking about systematic review. Under academic reviews, that is what most people have actually mentioned, and these are reviews we are actually conversant with. We write in our manuscript, or maybe our dissertation or thesis like that. So let us try to look at the comparison. Try to compare this academic
sorry, Dr. Miriam, your line is.
So looking at this chart, you can see systematic review in yellow. Look at when you talk about speed,
Dr. Miriam, can you hear me?
Compared to other reviews. But when you look at the methodological details, it's highly detached.
Your line is breaking. We hardly hear you.
Hello? Can hear you.
Yes, we can, but your line
Hello?
is breaking.
Hello? Can you... Hello?
Hi,
Dr.
Dr.
Miriam, can you
Miriam.
hear us?
Hello?
Yes, Doc, we can hear you.
No. Hello?
Dr. Miriam, your line is breaking. Now we
Can I carry on?
Dr. Miriam, we can't hear you at the moment.
Oh.
Dr. Miriam, we cannot hear you clearly on our side.
Oh, can you hear me? No. Can you hear me?
We can't hear you, Dr. Miriam. Apologies, colleague. Dr. David is currently contacting Dr. Miriam, probably to try to explain to her that we cannot hear her clearly. She must just sort out her internet. I think I think it must be the network issue on her side.
Hi, Nkosi. Good morning.
Hi.
Is it possible you share the email we are to request for recording for this session from on the chat box?
Okay, I'll just
Thank you.
share my email address. Alternatively, colleagues, the presentation of this workshop will be shared to model community, which is your supervisor and PDRF model community. If you are not enrolled in any of these communities that I've mentioned, you can send us an email and then we will be able to enroll you to your respective model community. In the meantime, also, the easiest way now is to just navigate through RCTMS, which is the new platform that we are currently using. It's under UJ, Ulink, and then under services, the last option is RCTMS. And then you can just populate your details are already there, just some missing few of your details. You can populate them and you will be able to access all our previous workshop recordings and be able to book for any upcoming workshop. And also, not only that, you can generate your own certificate of attendance by just clicking download button after you have attended any of the workshop. Dr. Miriam, are you back now? Can you hear us?
Hi, Nkosi. Sorry, good morning, colleagues. I hope you all are well. I've just spoken to Dr. Miriam. There seems to have been an issue in terms of the connectivity. Dr. Miriam will rejoin the meeting and yeah, just change the location. So we should be, if we can just ask for a few minutes to allow a system to restart, and then we will continue with the presentation. Thank you all very much, and apologies for it's just a technical difficulty, but looking forward to an engaging session. Thank you. Cheers.
Dr. Miriam, can you hear us now?
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect, Doc. We can now hear you clearly.
All right. Apologies. Is it clear now? Can you see my screen?
Not yet, but we can hear you. Please do share your screen, and I will confirm if we can see it now.
All right. Is it fine now?
Still loading. Yes, perfect. We can see your screen now.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I was trying to compare the type of academic reviews in terms of speed, methodological detail, the risk of bias, and the comprehensiveness. For systematic review, the time it takes to write a systematic review is slower compared to other types of reviews, and systematic review is more detailed compared to others with a very, very low risk of bias, and it is very much comprehensive. We look at the definition of systematic reviews. Systematic reviews are original studies whose unit of analysis is primary studies. What do I mean by this? Before you can conduct a systematic review in any field, there must be an existing primary study in that field or maybe in that concept. It must not be, you cannot compare a systematic review when you do not have a already published studies in that particular field, because this is what you want to systematically collect together. So there must be primary studies which you want to put together and analyze. And the aim is to answer a specific research question. It involves a systematic search of all available scientific evidence, assessment of quality of the included studies, which makes it very, very different from other reviews. Because in other reviews, like a normal literature review, you do not need to appraise the quality of the studies you have included in your review. But in systematic review, you have to report the quality of each study. You have to assess the quality of each studies you have included. Then we said systematic review is a method that is systematic, it's transparent, and it must be reproducible. Your methodology must be reproducible. And the aim is to reduce error. And you have the examples of guidelines. We have the guideline for writing systematic review, which is called the PRISMA guideline. The preferred reporting items for systematic reviews are meta-analysis. Following this guideline makes you to have a very comprehensive systematic review. And if you follow this guideline dutifully, your systematic review will be accepted because it has the pros and cons of writing a systematic review. And the guideline has to be followed dutifully for it to be accepted. Then there's these questions that people do ask that, is it a must for me to conduct a meta-analysis after writing a systematic review? No, the answer is no. You can actually conduct your systematic review without a meta-analysis. You only conduct a meta-analysis when your data contains, or when your data requires a meta-analysis. That is where you have quantitative data which you need to analyze. But if your review is more of a qualitative review, then it is as good as just stopping on a systematic review. And systematic meta-analysis is just a subset of systematic review. Systematic review is a broader one, is a broader concept, but a meta-analysis is just a subset of the systematic review. So once your systematic review is written properly and you see that your data, you can analyze your data and you have data that can move forward to a meta-analysis, then you can go ahead. Otherwise, it is very, very much publishable. So I have tried to put up some examples of systematic review with meta-analysis and systematic review without meta-analysis. So looking at your field, I know people here are from different fields, so you can browse through systematic reviews in your field. You can see the way they have written the topics. You can see the way they have constructed their research question. If your research question does not need a meta-analysis, there is no problem about that. Otherwise, if your research question requires a meta-analysis, then you can go for that to analyze. Why do we write systematic review? We can look at the pyramid of evidence, starting from the background of reviews. We have the expert opinion, the case reports, the case control, the cohort studies, randomized controls. Then you can see systematic review at the top end of the pyramid, meaning this is just showing that the effectiveness of systematic review in putting data together and in analyzing data. Then we can also look at the temporal trends of systematic review from year 2000. You can see how it is increasing compared to randomized control trials. There are global importance of systematic reviews. Systematic reviews are cornerstones of evidence-based decision-making across various sectors. Many people have always asked that, is it only in the medical field? No, it is just that systematic review is well developed in the medical field. That is why you notice that most examples come from the medical field. But systematic review is relevant and important in all academic sectors. In the healthcare sector, in the education sector, environmental, technology and innovation, social sciences and policy making, industry and business. It is relevant in all fields as long as you have primary studies which you want to put together. Then who are the users of systematic reviews? We have the researchers, the patients, the policymakers, the practitioners, because now a systematic review gathers all information, all primary studies in your area. So for instance, a researcher wants to form a research question or for a research, he or she does not know what to do, but he has the topic. Getting a systematic review can guide, and it's faster. If there's a systematic review in that field, the researcher can pick the systematic review, read through the systematic review, and look at the limitations and where the study gap is, compared to the researcher now having it to download probably thousands of references to screen through, because a systematic review must have put together all the primary studies in that particular field, which will definitely lead the researcher. Now let's look at the steps involved in writing a systematic review. What are the steps involved in writing a systematic review? The first step is to formulate your question, to formulate your research question. After formulating your research question, you develop your protocol. You develop your protocol. We shall be looking at these steps soon. After developing your protocol, you identify eligible studies. You try to identify eligible studies. And after that, you extract your data, then you do your appraiser study, which I said earlier on. In systematic review, you need to appraise the quality of your included study. I would advise members to please go online and search the PRISMA guidelines. It is there. You can read through the PRISMA guidelines and read more about what is required for you to write a systematic review. And you synthesize the evidence, you interpret your findings, and you write your reports. So, and I must mention this, for writing a systematic review, you must know that at least 2 people must be involved, which is different from other reviews you have been writing. At least 2 people must be involved. The stages of systematic review has to be free of bias, and your screening has to be done blinded. All right, so let us look at formulating your research question. Formulating a research question for systematic review is a very, very critical step that shapes the scope and focus of the review. If you don't get the question right, you might have a problem along the line. For instance, if the question is too broad, if your research question is too broad and you start on it, by the time you start extracting your data, you start looking for your references, you might find it very difficult for you to put those researches together. So the research question, you must take time in formulating the research question, and it is a teamwork. It must be done by at least 2 people. At least 2 people. You can have more than 2 people in your team, but at least 2 people. First, you define the scope of your research using a structured framework. There are different frameworks depending on your field. We have the PICO framework, which is mostly used by those in the clinical or the healthcare sector, which is your population or problem, intervention, comparison, and your outcome. When we talk about the population, you define the group or the problem that is being studied. You need to define the group in your research question. Your research question must follow a specific framework. So for instance, now let us look at an example of this PICO framework, where your research question is following the PICO framework. Your P, you must be able to identify the group or the problem you are looking at. If there's an intervention, you must be able to specify the intervention, the exposure, or the factor you want to analyze. Then if there's a C, that is the comparison, you must be able to identify an alternative for comparison, which is optional. For instance, if you are using the PICO framework, it is not compulsory that your question must have the whole element of this PICO. If you don't have a comparison, it might be a PIO, O, which is the outcome, the desired outcome you want to measure. So let's take, for example, in adults with hypertension, does mindfulness therapy compared to medication improve blood pressure management? That is a research question. So looking at this research question, we can identify, we can identify our P, which is adults with hypertension. Hello, are we still together?
Yes, but we still hear you.
All right, thank you. All right, so for instance, we have for this, looking at this research question, in adults with hypertension. So my problem here is I want to collect data on what? Adults with hypertension. So that is the problem, or the population I'll be looking out for while synthesizing my data. Right. Does mindfulness therapy, that is the intervention. Now I want to measure the effect of mindfulness therapy. That is going to be my intervention compared to medication. So I am comparing medication, that is my comparison, to mindfulness therapy, which is my intervention, improve blood pressure management. So the outcome I want to measure is what? The blood pressure on adults with hypertension. So let's look at another framework. This is another framework which is called SPIDER for qualitative research. S, sample, it should define the population or the sample of interest. PI, phenomenon of interest, this should describe the experience, the behavior, or the intervention. Then D, that's the design. It should be able to specify the type of study or research design. Evaluation, you should be able to indicate the evaluation or outcome of interest. Then your research type, you should be able to state whether it's qualitative or quantitative, or it is a mixed research study. Then I've given an example again. In careers of Alzheimer's patients, how do they experience home care challenges? Right. So Carriers of Alzheimer's patients, this is the problem. This is the population we want to look at. How do they experience? This will be the phenomenon that we want to measure. Their experience, that is the phenomenon of interest to us, right? Our home care challenges. We want to evaluate the challenges they have. That's going to be our outcome. Then you have another one, which is the PEO. The main bone of this is just for you to identify the framework that actually suits your research question, depending on your research field. You have the PEO for qualitative research or observational studies. So now, once your research question is done, you are happy with your research question, yourself and your team members are happy with your research question, then the next thing is you go for that to develop a protocol. Fine, not all journals require you to submit a protocol before writing a systematic review, but it is advisable. It is not compulsory, but it is advisable to submit a protocol before writing your systematic review. I've said that submitting a protocol for systematic review is a crucial step to enhance transparency, reduce bias, and prevent duplication in research, which contributes to the integrity and quality of your systematic review. For instance, we know researchers are working all over the world. You are somewhere writing on a particular topic, but you did not submit a protocol on this topic. You did not register this protocol. You might find out that there's someone else somewhere who is also working on this, on the same type of topic. You understand, on your topic. And at the end of the day, maybe before you finish, you have spent a lot of time, probably maybe you have spent like 6 months, 7 months on your systematic review, yourself and your team. Then you suddenly see a pop-up, someone just published a systematic review in that same field, in that same topic. You will not be happy. You will feel time wasted. You understand? But if you have registered your protocol, any other person that wants to write on that topic, by mere searching, will definitely know that, no, this protocol has been registered. And you have a lot of softwares, free softwares online, where you can register your protocol. We have the Prospero, we have the Systematic Reviews Biomed Central, we have BMJ, we have Impulsar, we have the Open Science Framework. Let me try to show you. Okay, no, maybe when I'm done, I can just show you like an hands-on how the Prospero website looks like and what it takes to register the protocol. Now you are done registering your protocol. The next thing is you need to identify the eligible studies. How do you identify your eligible studies? You identify your eligible study by searching different databases. You need to now collect your references. You need to collect your references from different databases. At least, I encourage that you include at least 3 databases. And if you have a subject-specific database, please include the subject-specific database. Yes, some people do have challenges with databases because most of the databases are on subscription. But I know for University of Johannesburg, we have the A to Z. So if you have challenges, you can probably maybe seek help from the library to show you how to get access to these databases. Is there on the LinkedIn. You have A to Z. So you have access to a lot of databases which you can search from. So you need to identify if your particular area has a subject-specific database, that is one, then you can now add a general databases. So you go to your database, whichever database you have selected, and you must have agreed with your team members that we are going to search these databases. Then you search and you retrieve your references from these different databases. So these references will be put together after getting your eligible studies you have downloaded from different databases. Fine. These references will now be put together. Mind you, searching from each database. Now, for instance, let me give for example now, you want to search from PubMed, you want to search from Scopus, you want to search from Web of Science. You need to have it in mind that you will definitely get duplicate references. References that will be retrieved by Web of Science. You will have some of it will be retrieved by Scopus as well, and some of it will also be retrieved by your PubMed. Right, but there's no problem about that. You just have to download these references. You can either use your reference manager or you can use Rayyan. Rayyan as in Rayyan. I'm going to show you a bit after the presentation. You can log into Rayyan and load, just a click, just upload these references. Then after uploading these references, you tell Rayyan to delete all the duplicates. So once you remove all the duplicates, you will have a comprehensive list of your download. Then from here, you can now further to screen your references for those ones that will be included and those that will be excluded. And you can also decide to use a gray literature. So that is publications that are not yet unpublished work or non-commercial published research. So now to extract your data. Now we have talked about downloading your references. Now you have your references. Yes, you have your references. Now the next thing is what? You want to now extract your data. These tools are specifically designed for managing systematic review workflows to include your data extraction. We have the Confidence, we have Rayyan, we have EPP High Reviewer, we have Distiller SR, but what I also know is that most of these are also on subscription. But for Rayyan, Rayyan used to be very free before, but now I think you can only work on Rayyan to an extent before it starts asking you for subscription. But I don't know if, I used to know that UJ has subscription for Confidence, but I'm not sure if it is still available, but you can of course find out from the library as well. So once you feed in these softwares with your references, on that software, you tell the software to remove the duplicates. After removing the duplicates, what next do you do? Yourself and your team, you have to screen. You have to screen the references through title and abstract. What do I mean by that? You look at it blindedly. Blindedly in the sense that collaborator A does not know what collaborator B is doing, and does not know what collaborator C is doing. Blindedly, you screen, you look at the topic, you look at the abstract. Does this fit our research question? Does this fit our inclusion criteria? You can delete at that stage. So you delete individually, then you now converge. After deleting individually, you converge again online, then you see what each one of you have done. You can see, okay, why did you delete this? You reconcile. You come together, you reconcile to say, okay, no, why have you deleted this? No, why did you delete this? Then you explain to each other. Then you can be able to synthesize and have your total reference to work with. So you are finished, you are assuming you are now done with extracting your data. You have your extraction sheets. Remember, your extraction sheets needs to be discussed among the team members. What parameters do you actually want to extract from those references? You must develop an Excel sheet. Okay, from our research topic, we want to extract the names of the plants, the family of the plants, the diseases the plants are used for. We want to extract the minimum inhibitory concentration that has been reported. We want to extract the type of biological assay that has been done on this plant. You agree on that extraction sheet. So when you now share the references among each other, each one of you knows the parameters to extract from those sheets. Now, after that being done, you have finished your extraction. Now you need to appraise the quality of your included study. Quality appraiser is a systematic step, is a critical step in systematic reviews to assess the reliability and the validity of your included studies. Various tools and checklists exist for evaluating the quality of studies. We have the Cochrane Risk of Bias tool, we have the Pedro scale, we have the Quadas. This is limited. This is just a limited list. There are a lot of lists, and these tools are very easy to understand. You only need to get the tool, and they are free. They are also free online. You only need to get the tool that is specific to your research. So once you get the tool that is specific to your research, you go to the tool, you read what is required to use the tool and the parameters you are meant to take note of. So these tools, what happens in these tools is these tools will just tell you that, okay, in evaluating your quality of studies, you need to take note of these 10 parameters. So you put these 10 parameters on an Excel sheet, then you take each paper, then you appraise each paper looking at these 10 parameters. You appraise each paper looking at these 10 parameters. Then you synthesize the evidence. That now you are done appraising your study, you are done extracting your data, then you now synthesize the evidence from these extracted papers. You synthesize the evidence, then you can now interpret your findings and you write your reports. Then you publish your findings. So I would like to show, okay, I think, yeah, that should be the end, but let me just, I would like to show you something. All right. So is my screen still visible? Hello?
Yes, Doc, we can see your screen.
All right, so this is just a bit of hands-on here to buttress what I have been saying. So I was talking about registering your protocol. So this is an example. You have lots of sites where you can register your protocol. So for instance, if you are using the Prospero, this is the interface of Prospero. So you come here as a new user, you register your review. Yeah, because I have registered already, so that is why it is coming up with my password. So you can register. We have been unable to authenticate your credentials. Please try again. All right. So, okay. This is my page. So I don't know why it is not coming up. So, yeah. Yes, this is it now. So registering your review. Terms of use for registering. You can read the terms, you accept, you continue. It's just a very simple thing to do. Then you can continue and follow the steps. It will definitely get to a step where you need to include details about the review you want to carry out. Okay, let me just a systematic review of animals. Okay. What type of review are you planning? Intervention? You need to like just fill all these. Let me just get to the point of registering. Yes, this is where I was going. So you look at this information which you need to provide. Review title and basic details, eligibility criteria. Your team, you and your team must have agreed on the eligibility criteria. What do I mean by eligibility criteria? What criteria do you want to look at before including a particular paper, before including a particular reference? What are the criteria for a particular reference to be eligible to be included in your review? You need to state that. Then are there similar reviews? You need to further timeline for your review. You give yourself a timeline. Of course, it is not strict. It is not you maybe, for instance, you have given yourself a timeline of 6 months. That doesn't mean that when you come back, you cannot continue after 6 months if you are not done, but you just need to fill it in. Availability of protocol, which we are processing now. Then you're searching and screening. What softwares do you want to use to search? What database do you want to search? What software do you want to use in screening? You need to provide all this information. The data collection process, the outcomes to be analyzed. That is from your framework, you know the outcomes you want to analyze. You plan your data synthesis, the current review stage. That is your current, if it is at the beginning, if you have reached the data extraction stage, you need to include that. Then review affiliation, funding. Yeah, these are just simple things which you can feed in to these databases or to these softwares before you can. Then you click on register. Then it takes some time. Then you can get your registration done. But that doesn't mean that when you register your systematic review, you need to wait until it is published before you start your systematic review. No, you can just register, you leave it at the side, then you continue with your systematic review. What you have, your proposal that you have submitted, we also pass through, it will definitely pass through review. You understand? It will pass through some reviewers, then it will come back. It's just like a process. So you leave it that way, then you continue with your systematic review. Then I was talking about synthesizing your data. So one of the softwares which is free is PubMed. Others are on subscription, so you can go to the library, they can assist you with other databases, but for PubMed, it is free. So you can come online, after developing your research question and your query, you feed it in here, then you search. So it's either you log in or you register. If you register on PubMed, meaning that you can always have access to your previous work. But if you do not register, it is fine. You can just use the online session. Then you continue with your systematic review. With that being said, I think I would like to take questions now, and I will hand it over to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miriam. That was very, very productive and insightful presentation. Now, colleagues, it's time for questions. If you do have any questions for Dr. Miriam, you can raise your hand or type under the chat, and we will go through the chat. So I see there's already some few hands, but firstly, let me go through the chat because I see there are questions that were long there. So there's a question. Let me just find out. As question from Dr. Balwa. Any special reason why the presenter personally chose Prospero?
No, no, I only chose Prospero as an example. I showed earlier, if you could see in my presentation, I have actually mentioned a lot, but maybe because I'm used to Prospero, I have my data, I have registered on Prospero, I use Prospero a lot, maybe that could be the answer. But there are lots of databases you can use, and they are very easy to understand, just like Prospero. It is just to go on it, then you can follow the steps. Does that answer the question?
Dr. Balwa, you can confirm if your question was answered. Okay, I see a thumbs up. Okay, now let me just enable everyone's mic so that I'll come back to the chat. I just want to enable everyone's mic now. And okay, I see Dr. Ikweche. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Please, can you hear me? Can you confirm?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, yes, thank you, Dr. Miriam, for the presentation. Quite insightful. Just a very simple question. Don't take it as he's supposed to know. At the beginning of your presentation, you mentioned meta-analysis. So I would have expected a brief demonstration about the meta-analysis, just as you did when you were talking about Prospero and research questions based on the tools you have talked about. So I think that would have also assisted a lot of us that are still trying to get along with the process of systematic review. Yeah, again, when you were talking about appraising the quality of the included studies, you talked about the tools and then how we have to pick the studies individually and run them through the criteria that are stated in each of the two. My concern is, does it not look more or less like we are doing a manual appraiser? Because if I'm carrying out a systematic study that, or systematic review that involves maybe about 100 studies, 200 studies, so I have to pick each of the study and then run them through the criteria on the tool. Does it not look manual and tedious, and in some cases prone to errors? And at the end of the day, the risk of bias that we are trying to avoid, we may see ourselves falling into the risk too. That is my concern. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that question. Sorry. If you go through the PRISMA guideline, as I said during my presentation, you can go through the PRISMA guideline, check online for the PRISMA guideline. You will see that one of the key elements of our systematic review is to do your study appraiser. Right, is to do your study appraiser. So that is why systematic review cannot be done by one person. When you talk about the risk of bias, that is why it should not be done by one person, because if it is done by one person, we agree between myself and you can be so biased. Yes, we can be biased while dealing with our reviews. We might even decide, maybe you are reading something and you feel, no, why is this person even writing like this? Who accepted this publication? This paper is not well written, this. Then you decide to drop it. But in systematic review, no matter the numbers of papers you have used, you need to divide it among your colleagues, and you need to search for a tool that best works for you and that can be used to appraise your included study. No matter the number of included studies you have used, you need to appraise it. That is one of the key elements of systematic review. And once you appraise it, you do it individually, you come back together and you reconcile. So each member must be able to check. So it depends on the parameters. I have done it before and we did it as a team. You understand? So what we did was the number of papers we have included, we divided it among the members and we appraised the study using the particular tools we have chosen. And you were talking about the meta-analysis. The workshop is actually for systematic review. Maybe we are going to put up another one for meta-analysis because of the time. It's a 1-hour workshop. So that was why I didn't delve into that. So appraising your quality of study is something that is very important. Yeah.
Thank you, Doc, for that. I see we have, let me just take these two hands and then I'll go through some few chats as well. I'll take two for now here. Dr. Palua, your hand is up, and Dr. Ellis, and then I'll go through the chat. I'll come back with the hands as well.
Okay, good morning, Dr. Amos and everyone, and thank you for the very insightful presentation. I guess you can hear me clearly. Yeah, so my question is, I think for the reviews I've seen, there's usually a part of the introduction where the subject matter is introduced, and then it goes now into the topical sections of whatever research question is being appraised. Yeah. So what I wanted to ask is, would it be right to write the introduction after the data has been synthesized, or should it be the other way around? The reason I've asked is I believe the introduction should also speak to the research question I'm trying to answer. So would it be right to first and foremost synthesize the information, and then when you have synthesized your findings from the literature, then now you write the introduction after that? What would be the right workflow?
Yes, what I like to do, let me tell you what I do is I write my introduction after synthesizing. Because sometimes, but when you have your research question already and you start synthesizing, sometimes, or there's another, I know of someone who also is my boss, who advises that, okay, you can write your introduction, but along the line, your introduction can change. Or along the line, you can add more to your introduction, because definitely, if you write your introduction, I'm trying to log into this Prisma, but I think the network. If you write your introduction before synthesizing your data or before carrying out the data extraction, you might find out that, oh no, we need to include this. But in either ways, I think the two ways are right. You can decide to write your introduction before, having it in mind that when you continue writing and you get some other information you need to add, you can as well add it in. Or you can decide to leave it until you finish writing. So I'm trying to log on to the Prisma, but I can see that my network is bad. So you can do that from your end, but it's something that is very easy to understand. And the process and everything is also there, very easy. What your introduction needs to comprise of is there. How your methodology needs to look like, how your data extraction needs to look like, how your results needs to look like, how your discussion needs to, everything is there. It's just for you to follow it, but I don't know what is wrong with the network. Hello, moderator.
Yes, Doc. Right. We can still hear you on our side.
Yeah, but I don't know. Can you see my screen as well?
Yes, it says this site can't be reached. I think it's network, or it's just UJ blocking the site.
Oh, maybe. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming of that.
Yeah, maybe it's from UJ. Yeah, maybe also. All right.
Okay.
Any other question?
Okay, I'll come back to Dr. Alice. Let me take Dr. Nakiranda from the chat. Is there a limit to the minimum number of papers to include in a systematic review in case you can't find enough papers?
No. Sorry. No, there's no limit. We have written a systematic review where we only included 7 papers. We only included 7 papers because it was a new research area. We're looking at a particular drug called mastodite, and it was a new drug. So we didn't really have a lot of primary studies. Remember, you need to have primary studies before you can do a systematic review. So the primary studies we were able to gather, at the end of the day after screening, we were only able to include, I think, 6 or 7 in the study. So it depends on what you get, but you must know that you must definitely have primary studies.
Okay, thank you for that. Dr. Alice, I'm coming back to you. Your hand was up.
Yes, thank you very much, the moderator, Professor Amosa, for your presentation. I was just, sorry, I wasn't there at the very beginning, so I don't know if you really outlined the various types of reviews, because you've talked about the meta-analysis and the systematic reviews, but there are also other reviews, and I think I've seen several that are written singly by one person. Does that discredit reviews like that? Maybe you can enlighten more on that.
Yeah, I think you said it all, that you were not at the beginning of the presentation, because I did present on different types of reviews, you understand, that can be written individually, but we are just particular about the systematic review. Systematic review should be written by at least one person, but other reviews can be written by a single author. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I missed that. If you could just display that yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Alice, for that. I'm now going through some chat as well. Comment from Dr. Anu. Thank you for the presentation, Doc. I'm used to doing the references manually, but you made mention of software that could help one with the references as well as help with extractions, duplicity. So that was Dr. Anu. And we see Dr. Grant Zakaria. Can we include another systematic review article to do my systematic review, or I focus on primary data-based researches?
Okay. So do you want me to respond to the two? Where was I now? Okay, so I think the first question is on referencing, right? So you said you are used to doing your reference manually. Of course, we have reference managers. I think Mendeley is free. EndNote, you only have a free EndNote. You only have, I think, 1 month free, but it is on subscription. That is EndNote. But you can also use, when I was talking, okay, let me go to Ryan. Let me see. I don't know if the internet will allow me in. Ryan for systematic review. So you can go to this Ryan, you can sign up to Ryan. Once you sign up to Ryan, you will be able to, you can, okay, this is sign up. You'll be able to feed, there's a problem. I can't. So you can go to Ryan. Once you go to Ryan, Ryan is also free, at least to an extent. Ryan is free, so you can upload all your references to Ryan. It's very simple. Once you sign up to Ryan, you will have some interface to fill, which is the title of your review. What type of reviews are you doing? Do you want to do the title? Then you invite your collaborators. Of course, there should be a lead author, right? So you invite your collaborators, and your collaborators will get the email. Then that references which you have downloaded, you upload it into your Ryan. So after uploading into your Ryan, you will see directly there, remove duplicates, right? So once you click on remove duplicates, automatically Ryan will run the system and run through your references and delete all duplicates, right? So after deleting the duplicates, the next thing is to screen. That is where now you and your team members need to now work blindedly. He or she you have invited works on his own, you also work on your own, then you reconcile. So yeah, then the second one is what? Please, can you remind me, moderator? I forgot.
The second one is from Dr. Grant. Can we? Okay, let me just. Can we
okay,
include?
now I got the question.
Another,
no, you cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot include a systematic review into your systematic review. No, if you want to, you can do. And there's something called an umbrella review. If you want to do an umbrella review, you can include systematic reviews under the umbrella review, right? But when you're writing a systematic review, you don't include other systematic reviews. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hello?
I can hear you.
All right. Okay, so I think I've answered the 2 questions. Moderator? Hello?
Maybe the moderator has a challenge with his connection.
Oh.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, so is there any other question? Probably, okay, or should I check the hands if there's any other question before our moderator comes back?
Yes, Dr. Miriam, sorry, I'm having also network issues on my side. So
all right.
I've been talking, but yeah, I see that no one was getting me or hearing me. So there is a hand by Dr. Rabani. You can go ahead and unmute your mic. I see that there is also a question from the same person on the chat. As a postdoctoral research fellow, can I start a review alone, or it should always be done with the team? So I don't know, Dr. Rabani, since your hand is up, you wanted to elaborate on that question, or is it a new question that you have raised your hand on?
Thank you so much. I have 2 questions. After this, I have another question also.
All right.
You can go ahead and Dr. Miriam will tackle all your questions, I'm assuming.
So, as a postdoctoral fellow, this is a big challenge, which I'm also aware of. Yeah, you can start a review alone, but definitely not a systematic review. Honestly, in the recent, just to be like, we need to be sincere with ourselves. You understand? Like what I have, I believe in what is worth doing is worth doing well. You understand? There are lots and lots of reviews you can write. You understand? But when it comes to systematic review, it's either you try to persuade your hosts, but you know the hosts are very busy, so your host will not be ready to go through the process with you. So in your group, I believe we all have our research groups. You understand? So you can, and I know we are all looking at points. So in my own case, when I write systematic review, I don't look at the points. I don't take into consideration of the points that it's going to hand me. What I really have is I really look forward to that review I want to write and the aim of writing that review. You understand? So you can work on other aspects for your points, but now writing a systematic review, you can actually speak to your host and probably maybe those in your team. You can take maybe 1 or 2 people that are interested, then you can move through the journey together. But that should just be by a side work while you continue. Because if you want to do a systematic review single-handedly, honestly, you'll be violating the rules. And there might be some problem when you want to submit your systematic review. I have published systematic reviews, and I must tell you, we have worked in teams, and I never had a problem in submitting in acceptance, because we followed the guidelines dutifully. You understand? So I don't know. That is just my own pretty advice, that you should try as much as possible to work in a team, at least 2 team members. Then you can add your host as a third author, maybe. But you can definitely leave out systematic review and work on other reviews that can be written individually. Yeah. Are we taking another question?
Thank you so much for that
Dr. Rabani, you can go ahead again. You said you have another question.
Yes. So what are the common mistakes that early career researchers are doing, and then you want to suggest something regarding
what that? Are the what? Can you come again?
Like early career researchers, they are doing mistake. What you want to suggest us that we shouldn't do this? What are the mistakes we shouldn't do?
Okay. Early career researchers, we are doing mistakes. Yeah, I would just advise, my advice is to get a mentor. You understand? Rome was not built in a day. We are still in the process of learning. we are all learning. We learn every day. You understand? So I would just advise you work with senior colleagues, you learn from people, you open to learning, then you can get things done the correct way. Publication might be tiring. Publication might be frustrating. You send your papers out, you rejection there and there. Yeah, it's the norms, but you don't need to be frustrated. You just need to learn from those mistakes and see that, okay, this is where I'm getting it wrong and I can fix it from this end. Then before you know it, you'll be at the top of the game. Yeah. So my advice is get a mentor, get someone to work with, a senior colleague in your field, and you collaborate.
Thank you, Dr. Miriam, for that. We're now moving on to Dr. Okunlola. You can unmute your mic and ask a question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Miriam, for the beautiful presentation. Mine is a request from the RCD. I wouldn't know if a workshop can be organized as regarding the meta-analysis. That's just my request. Thank you.
Okay, we have noted that. Probably we will make the announcement in due course as soon as we get the facilitator for that topic. I don't know, Dr. Lorenzo David, are you here with me? Okay, it seems like Dr. David is not here with me. So we can organize the workshop, but then it will depend on whether we find a facilitator for that particular topic that can facilitate the workshop. We will try, if you know anyone, colleagues, probably if you do have a suggestion of a workshop and probably you know anyone that can offer a service or facilitate that kind of a workshop, you can make your suggestion and probably give us recommendations on who do we contact regarding the facilitation of that particular workshop. And we will be glad to schedule the meeting for that. So let me go through some chats as well. Colleagues, I've shared the feedback evaluation on the chat. We kindly request you to take your 3 minutes and fill that feedback in. I see there are a lot of comment about now sharing of slides. We will upload the presentation as well as the recording of this workshop on our module communities, which include the supervisor community as well as the PDRF module community. As I've mentioned earlier, that if you are not enrolled in any of those communities, you can just email us on Nkosi2N. I've shared the email and we will enroll you. But now the easiest platform or the more accessible platform is the RCTMS, which is the platform that is available on ULink. And then under services, the last option is RCTMS. That is the platform that we are currently more using. It has all the previous workshop recordings, as well as you can be able to book for any upcoming workshop of your choice. And you can also generate a certificate of attendance just after you have attended the workshop. The certificate of attendance will be available without us sharing the certificate via email to you. However, those who are still joining us using the registration form and the feedback, that is where we get your information or your details, and that's where we can generate a certificate of attendance from a feedback evaluation form. That is why, colleagues, it is very much important for you to make sure that you fill in the feedback evaluation form, because we capture your correct details and issue you the correct certificate of attendance. I see there was a hand. Okay, let me just go through some chat. There's a comment or a addition from Dr. Uche. Thank you very much, Dr. Miriam, for the presentation. Sincere appreciations. Thank you, Dr. Uche, for that. And then there is another thread or question or suggestion from Dr. Temitope. Please demonstrate your presentation by using an example. You can pick one topic in engineering or science. That is directed to you, Dr. Miriam.
I didn't get the question. I'm trying to look at the chat to see if I can get the question. I didn't understand the question.
Yeah, same. Dr. Temitope, if you can just unmute your mic and elaborate more on the question that you posed on the chat, please. Okay. In the meantime, I see we have some few hands. Dr. Palua, your hand was up. Okay. Is that Dr. Temitope?
Yes, I'm the one.
Yes, please go ahead and elaborate
really
more on your question.
appreciate your presentation. This is a wonderful presentation. Please, can you just pick a topic, maybe in engineering, or so that you can demonstrate what you have done now? That's the question. Just anything. So
okay,
that as an example, just anything.
Yeah.
Let's just demonstrate it.
Because now you can see that I have actually shared. All right. Yeah. I think I did mention some examples while I was presenting. But if I can get you right, maybe you are trying to say we should choose a topic, then we walk through the systematic review.
Yes, so that everybody will understand
what will take us the whole, in fact, days. Because now
then, sorry, madam, do you have any lesson that you can just send to us? Maybe video something so that everybody will see it. You can do it, then you can send it to us. Can you do something like that?
For instance, I told you, can you see my screen?
I can see the screen, madam.
All right, look at the processes. Because if I get you right, you want us to write a systematic review from question formulation, develop the protocol, identify. We need to talk. We need to talk to the RCD people so that they can probably maybe organize a physical workshop, because this cannot. This is going to take us days. It's not something that can be done in hours. If you want us to take a topic, then we walk through the whole topic. So I think we need to communicate with the RCD, then we can see how to figure that out. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Doc, for that. We will look on that one and try to find out if we do have means to provide such a workshop. But yes, it's possible. We usually provide physical workshops that require practicals or hands-on. So we will look on that and we'll come back with the feedback to you, Dr. Miriam. So now I go to Dr. Palua and to Dr. Anu. And then first, Dr. Palua, you can unmute your mic.
Thank you, moderator. I have a question to the presenter. There are two questions, actually. The second one is in the chat already. So I'll just ask the other one. So what I wanted was just a clarification to say if I have to reanalyze data from previous studies in order for me to answer my own research question from the systematic review, would I have to get permission from the authors who I'm citing for me to use their data to reanalyze it and come up with my own conclusion? Yeah, so there are two questions there.
All right, thank you for that question. Remember, it is a review. So, sorry. Sorry. You are trying to put together primary studies, right? So you don't need a permission from anyone. All you need is all the studies you have included, you need to cite them, That is just it. You need to provide a citation. Not that using the data, you have brought the data together, but you are not citing the owner of the publication. No. So you need to cite them, except those papers that you cannot get. There are some papers that you might not be able to get that you need to request from the author. So you need to send an email to them. But those papers that are freely online, fine, you can include them in your studies, but you must reference them. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. So the second question was, this was just a clarification to say, so the PRISMA protocol does not need to be applied in the case of scoping a review in this case. I think which would be easier then. Is that correct? Hello?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, just to clarify, in the systematic review, we are using it's advisable to use the PRISMA protocol. Yeah. So, but in the scoping review, that means we do not necessarily have to go through the PRISMA protocol. Is that right?
Yes, but there are some other, no. But for instance, now when I was telling you that I was talking about the protocol for systematic review as well, you and your team might decide not to put up a protocol, but it is highly advisable, you understand, that you should put up a protocol. But the guidelines for writing the systematic review is that the PRISMA guideline. You see the PRISMA guideline there. Also for bibliometric analysis and scoping review, I think there are some guidelines as well on those ones which needs to be followed. So when it's just that my network is bad, but you can actually check. When you go to that guideline, you will see that that is something that is very, very simple. It is not coming up. I have tried so many times to bring it up, but yeah, it is not coming up. So you can go through it. It is very, very simple and it's very explicit, which tells you that your introduction, this is what is required. You understand? Your methodology, this is what is required. Your study appraiser, this is what is required. Quality appraiser, this is what is required. Your research section, this is what is required. Your conclusion section, this is what is required. So, but for scoping and bibliometric review, I think they also have their guidelines, but I'm only telling you that one for the systematic review.
Thank you, Dr. Miriam, for that. We're now moving on to Dr. Anu. You can unmute your mic and I'll go back to the chat.
Thank you, Nkosi. Thank you, Dr. Miriam, for the insightful presentation once again. Now, this is me seeking further clarity based on my earlier question that was read, which is on the Ryan.ai. I understood from your presentation, I noticed that most of them are actually more tailored toward the sciences because things like Prospera is being used by those mainly clinical sciences, health sciences, and all of that. And yes, so I would want to find out Ryan.ai, is it as widely inclusive like Mendeley? Just to be sure, because I am in the social sciences. Thank you.
Yes. Maybe you can try from your end and try to search for Ryan. You sign up. Once you sign up, Ryan is friendly to any field, because it is just a software for analyzing your data. You understand? It doesn't have anything to do with either the medical field, either the social sciences or anything. No, it only analyzes whatever you feed into it. You understand? It is very friendly and it's very easy to use. Once you put in your references, you just have to run the analysis on it. You understand? To remove your duplicate, to screen your data and everything. So if you want to have more efficient use of Ryan, you can go for the subscription one, the premium, but I can't remember how much the premium is, but it's very cheap. You understand? Then it can do everything. In fact, it can even generate your Prisma flowcharts for you. You understand? If you have the premium version, but it is not limited to any field. It is friendly to all field. It only analyzes whatever you feed into it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, for that. I don't know if this question was answered from Dr. Uche. Is it allowed to combine a systematic review and bibliometric review in a particular study?
I
Dr.
have
Miriam,
said it
did we?
earlier that we cannot combine, you cannot put a systematic review in another systematic review. You understand? Now, you cannot combine a systematic review in another systematic review. So if you want to combine systematic reviews, then you can be going for umbrella review. Then you will be analyzing systematic reviews in your field.
Yeah, thank you for that. Dr. Toyini, you can unmute your mic and go ahead. Dr. Toyini, you can go ahead, unmute your mic. Okay. It seems like Dr. Toyini can't hear me. Dr. Miriam, can you still hear me? And the colleagues, can you still hear me? Because my network is bad on my side. Okay, so I think Dr. Toyini can't hear us. That's right. Dr. Toyini, you can go ahead, unmute your mic. Still. So, okay, in that case, Dr. Miriam, I think we have covered most of the question, not even most, I think all of the question from the chat and from the hand raised. To the colleagues that had raised their hand before, I have noticed Dr. Nyati with the hand raised. Probably he is now or she has been answered. Okay, we can move on then and say those who have been requesting for presentation slides because of this workshop, we will also be sharing the slides via email just to make things easier. But the easiest way, colleagues, to access all the previous workshop recording, kindly log in or register your profile under RCT-MS, and also make sure that you are registered on any of the model communities. And then that is where you will able to access the previous workshop recordings, the presentations, as well as to book for any workshop that is still upcoming. So I've shared the RCT-MS link. So it's under the chat right now. So you can try and log in and populate your information. It's already there, but it's incomplete. Please do make sure that you complete this by using your UJ email address, which is either your student or staff email. So, okay, I see Dr. Miriam, you are trying to try if to see if that site allows you to log in now.
Yes, but it's just, I don't know what is going on. I'm just having difficulty.
Yeah, I think it's network.
Yeah, it's not going. It's not going.
Must be network.
Yeah, it's a problem there. I don't know what is going on. Yeah, it is not allowing me to come up. Yeah, but it's something that is very easy to work with. Yeah. No, I can't. I can't log in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Dr. Miriam, kindly share after this workshop your presentation, and I will share via email with all the colleagues that are here. Colleagues, please do make sure that you have registered for this workshop, because your email address I will take from that. If not, you can type in your email address under the chat if you didn't register for this workshop, so that I can get your correct email address. So I'm not in UJ. Is the RCT open to other researchers outside UJ? Of course, it is open. We collaborate with other institutions as well. But for the RCT management system, the one that I'm talking about, it's strictly for UJ staff members, researchers, and students. So if you are not a staff member or a student from UJ or a researcher, and then it won't allow you to log in, because you need to log in via ULink, and then you go to services. The last option is RCTMS, and then you log in onto that system. However, if not, you can still access the Moodle communities, which is available also on Moodle, and then the supervisor Moodle community, as well as the PDRF Moodle community. That is where also we are sharing all our resources, the workshops that are still coming, the previous workshop, even last year's workshop, we still have recordings as from last year to all the workshops that we offered. So you can try to access that. If not, if you are having any problems, colleagues, with registering, strictly with registering your profile on RCTMS, I'm available for assistance via Teams. You can Teams call me at any time, or send me an email, and then we can arrange a meeting to try to resolve your issue and be able to register for the RCTMS. However, for this specific workshop, because of the demand, I will share the recording as well as the presentation via email address. So that is why I've asked you, if you didn't register, you can just send or type in your email address, and then we will share them via your email. So thank you for that. I don't know if I'll be closing anyone out, Dr. Miriam, with a burning question before we can officially end the session. Probably any last word or any conclusion from your side, Dr. Miriam. I think we can end the session thereafter.
All right, no problem.
Okay. Thank you so much, colleagues. Don't forget to fill in the feedback evaluation. It's there under the chat. We will issue the certificate of attendance based on who have completed the feedback evaluation. And Dr. Miriam, we will also be sharing this workshop attendance report probably in 3 days' time. As well as once we get enough feedback from the participants, and we will share you the full attendance report as well as the feedback evaluation that we received from this workshop. So for your own records, Dr. Miriam, thank you so much once again on behalf of the Research Capacity Development Unit. Thank you for taking your time in facilitating this workshop. And thank you to all the colleagues who have taken their time. We do hope and believe that you have learned something today that you'll go out and put into practice or share with other colleagues and your students, those who are in supervision. So thank you so much for offering your time. I now officially end this session. You can have a great day further. Thank you so much. Colleagues, if you do have any suggestion of the workshop that you would like us to offer on for PDRFs or supervisors or postgraduate student, and then you are more than welcome to come up with suggestion, and we will try by all means to find facilitators. If not, if you do know anyone who is an expert or who knows that particular topic better, you can refer them to us, and then we will reach out to them, and yeah, the workshop will be a possible one. So thank you so much everyone for your attendance once again. You can have a great day further.
Thank you so much, moderator. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm so glad. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Miriam, once again. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.